Hello everybody, and welcome to another Kimi ga Nozomu Eien discussion video. Today we're going to be talking about Hayase, or Mitsuki's route. Hayase Mitsuki. Yeah, and this video is going to be a little bit different to my last discussion video because I've watched Rumbling Hearts, in other words, the anime, now, and there were some very interesting parallels with Mitsuki's route, Akane's route, in my opinion, and yeah, I wanted to discuss how this route compares with the anime afterwards, after we've talked about all of the visual novel events. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, I didn't really begin this the conventional way, because, yeah, I was trying to read Homida's route, but I didn't realise that you have to complete Mitsuki, Haruka, and Akane's routes before unlocking any of the side characters. So, in other words, the Sky Temple staff and also the nurses, and obviously not Motoko, but and not Sakiyama as well. Imagine a Kimi ga Nozomu Eien Sakiyama route. That would be weird. Anyway, I should shut up. But yeah. The reason I decided to read Mitsuki's route over Akane's route is because the beginning of Homida's route is surprisingly similar to Mitsuki's route. Now, there are a few changes. We have the choice, I mean, I always see it as kotowaru in the guide, i.e. refuse. Yeah, where we have Hoshino making a pass at us, and then that hilarious part afterwards. Hoshino is so pissed off at us in the hospital, and the next day, yeah, not the most professional behaviour, but oh well. Yeah, I don't think working at a hospital and asking asking a patient out for drinks and then sex, yeah, that's not the most professional behaviour. And yeah, on I think it's the 5th of August. It's the day after. Amakawa realizes why Hoshino is so mad at us, and then she makes a pass at us. Like, what the fuck was that? Seriously, what was that? I mean, I don't know if Hotaru's route is going to be good, but yeah, I hope it's not going to be as weird as that opening was. Anyway, we're getting really off track. This is Mitsuki's route discussion, not Hotaru or Hoshino. They're for another day. But yeah. First interesting scene that is really different in Mitsuki's route is the one where Takayuki, it's really early on. I don't remember much about the context, but Takayuki's really stressed, and he just basically lets all of his steam out on Mitsuki in a very violent and sexual way, and it's sick. Let's just get that clear. But yeah, yeah, it really does show how Mitsuki would do anything for Takayuki, anything. And a notable difference is the fact that we don't see Akane. Oh, I'm getting a little lost. I don't think we see Akane in the swimming tournament at all. Or am I thinking of something else? No, I don't think we see her in the tournament. No, do you know what? Let me check. Right, okay, here we go. I've got the guide up that I use. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but like it's just everything merges together. So it's around the 9th. Oh, we do. Okay, I'm getting totally confused with something. Okay, do you know what I was getting confused with? With Homida's route? Spoiler for Homida's route, but the guide actually says that you don't go to Akane to watch her swimming, but you skip it and you prioritize work instead. And then you kind of leave work halfway through because it's really not busy, and then yeah. Okay, it's good to have that cleared up. But the key point is, you don't see Akane afterwards, and when she's in the hospital, obviously Takayuki has done his overnight visiting. He still gives Haruka Mayauru's present, which is surprising. But yeah, he doesn't he doesn't wait, he doesn't inconvenience himself, and he doesn't do absolutely everything he can for Akane, unlike in Haruka and Akane's route, obviously. Um, yeah, and that means we get a lot less connection with Akane, and yeah, I think to be fair, I mean that doesn't actually matter. Still you can still reject Akane and yet read Haruka's route, I think. But yeah, it's just interesting. I'm playing it in the order the guide said, and that was a difference. So it's kind of my experience of the route was different, but it doesn't mean it is objectively different, if that makes sense. But yeah, remarkably similar to Haruka's route, the beginning of this. And we also have that part where Takayuki is really, really sick. He's like fucking 39 degrees in terms of body temperature. And then he still goes to the hospital. And he totally wrongs Mitsuki. He lies to her face, even though she's doing everything to support him. And yeah, it's just a really unforgivable scene. And that still happens, which is quite surprising. And yeah, there's a lot of threat to their relationship after Haruka completely goes into the ICU, collapses, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just impressive how similar it is to Haruka's route actually. But then there's where everything changes when Takayuki actually has the responsibility to say to Haruka that Mitsuki is the person he is in a relationship with. And the thing is, in this route, Takayuki, or at least in my experience of the route, Takayuki always has more responsibility. For example, when doing the magic spell or the Omajinai. Is it Majinai or Omajinai? I don't know. I forgot. But yeah, one of the two. Um yeah, just totally showing restraint, totally remembering that he has a relationship outside of this, and he can't fully give in to Haruka's affection for him. And yeah, it's nice to see, and it does obviously make sense considering we're reading this route. But my God, when you see Takayuki say that Mitsuki is his girlfriend, just her happiness, it really is quite amazing, especially considering how threatened their relationship had been because of everything that had gone on. Just Takayuki neglecting her for Haruka, really. But what's interesting here is then there's the really nice part about Takayuki finding it so difficult to get over Haruka, and that is really apparent in stuff like this. Also, you get Haruka's character development and how much she is totally pushing herself for the rehabilitation, and some really quite disturbing scenes, especially this one. And yeah, you get Haruka just really encouraging the relationship to stop. Sorry, I mean Takayuki seeing Haruka stopping because he is already in a relationship already, and he has feelings for somebody else. So why is he doing this? He's just making mistakes in her eyes, I suppose. And ultimately, there is also the case that if Takayuki doesn't feel affectionate for Haruka, Haruka will only love the Takayuki of 3 years ago, not the Takayuki of the present. So what was I going to say? That's a good question. Fuck. Something about this. Oh yeah, yes, it's actually a good point. So in Haruka's route, it's implied that Haruka is working very hard to get better and obviously live a life outside of the hospital, a life outside of basically the same scenery, the same outside scenery, completely secluded from the world, and obviously a life outside of just being immobile. And yeah, it's so much more obvious how much she is pushing herself. And yeah, it was really cool, that scene where we were watching Haruka do her best on the physical training, and it just it was really weird at first because the person who was instructing Haruka and making her push herself the most was it just felt like a military like setting. It was just really, really brutal. But yeah, that trainer was brutal just so that she could motivate Haruka, and obviously so it's kind of um a bit brutal whenever Haruka would fail and just constantly nailing it into her head that Haruka cannot fail this and she has to keep getting up and going with her rehabilitation. But then when she has success, constant praise. I mean, they both want the same thing. And yeah, so now we have I can't really remember what happened here the most, to be honest. But yeah, we have the conversation with Akane, and we have just in general Shinji as well. He's a lot more supportive of us in this route, I think. And that's just particularly because he always wants the relationship with Takayuki and Hayase to happen, really, because I mean, ultimately he can't bear to see someone he cares about so much getting hurt. And then it's the end. So yeah, obviously there's the scene of Haruka telling Takayuki that it's over, and Mitsuki doing the bitch slap to Haruka as well. And yeah, there's the confession as well, and obviously the picture book scene as well. I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, I think the ending was quite interesting in the sense that firstly, I think the stuff with Takayuki and Haruka was really quite nice, and it just feels so sad, the fact that they all couldn't get along in the present, really, and this love had just totally torn away their friendship. And yeah, it's just, it feels really unusual just to see Haruka and Mitsuki just not get along after all of this that has happened. They don't get along. Yeah, it's, and then obviously we have the confession scene as well, and yeah, it's just really funny because Mitsuki just thinks that it would be the opposite of a confession that he was about to do, because he would have every reason to just completely say no, get out of my life. And this ending was really, really powerful as well. I love the indication of what's going on in the future for everybody, and Murakami Haruka and her book. I think it's just The Real Treasure, or like Hontou no Takara or something like that. I don't know. Is it Takara Mono or is it just Takara? I don't know. But yeah, something like that. Such a cute story, and the art as well. It's amazing. I love the picture book art style and how it was made in the VN. Let me show you something really cool. You're not going to see this in many Kimi Nozo videos. So basically, I own the Kimi ga Nozomu Eien memorial art book. Don't worry, I'm not going to accidentally show you SFW. But the thing that's so cool. Oh my god, my webcam is so shit. But this is the picture book entirely in the art book, and I think it is so cool that they put the picture book actually gave it a place in the art book, which is really, really nice. And I think it's so cool that you can re-experience it. It is called Hontou no Takara Mono, by the way, if anybody's interested. But yeah, I really like it. And it was really sweet seeing Mitsuki read that to her kid as well. And obviously the really, really happy future that Takayuki and Mitsuki had. So, now that we've kind of talked about everything that has gone on in Mitsuki's route, I think, yeah, really, really good opportunity to compare the visual novel to the anime. Anyway, now yeah, here we go. Anime discussion time. So I think it's really interesting how the anime version had so many parts that we just didn't really see in the visual novel. And I think a good example of this is a lot of the stuff with Shinji. We saw how I mean it is kind of the same fundamental concept. I mean, Shinji is really scared about Hayase's grief for not being able to see Takayuki and not being able to have the good relationship that they once had. Just make some random evil man take advantage of her, and him stepping in. And that's kind of the same, but I like how you get to kind of see it more from her and Shinji's perspective. You get to see where they stay, what they do together, and just how wrong she thinks it is. And those scenes are reasonably different. What I like about the anime as well, I think you get to see a lot more there. How Mitsuki is very, very needy of this relationship, and how her life really was ruined after everything that went on with Haruka's accident. And I think a good example of this is when she fully quit swimming and just all of that grief, for example, from the instructor. Um, I remember that flashback scene and that just being really sad. And yeah, I think it's nice that there were some things that were not in the visual novel that were in the anime, and that's what made it a really interesting watch. And yeah, I think it's really weird what the anime did actually, because it's kind of okay. Spoilers for Akane's route here, but it's kind of a combination of Mitsuki and Akane's route, but also Haruka's route, because Mitsuki does stay with Shinji, which obviously doesn't happen in the visual novel version, or at least so much as we know. Um, so it's so Akane's route is kind of there because she is the one who reveals she can't take it anymore. She reveals everything that is going on to Haruka because she doesn't want to lie to her sister. I mean, if I'm sorry, but I cannot blame Akane whatsoever. Akane's really weird because on one hand, she's a total arsehole. She's horrible to Mitsuki. But the funny thing is, it's so understandable why she's like that. So it's kind of I can't really forgive her the most, but I can sympathise with her and I can understand why she would do what she does. And then obviously it's similar to Haruka's route, and it's similar to Mitsuki's route as well. Yeah, there were a few scenes that I thought, if the visual novel plot was exactly the same as the anime plot, that would have been really nice. I mean, for example, I really liked the confession scene to Mitsuki in the anime. And another thing I loved about the anime is just how much of Mitsuki's life outside of the relationship was shown. Like, for example, her job. We're never really shown much about that. I mean, like in the visual novel. And I think another really important thing is, remember when I was saying how Mitsuki's life has totally been affected and it's really emphasized in the anime? And I think Mitsuki is a lot less composed in the anime, I feel like, and I feel like she just becomes a lot more of a wreck than she does in the visual novel. And I will never forget that scene where there's all of the books of the houses and the leaflets, and then she just throws them out of the house because she just can't get things sorted with Takayuki, and because things are really difficult. And yeah, she even removes the ring, which is really quite impressive. The fact that she would go that far. She never went that far in the visual novel so far. At least maybe she will soon. I don't know. But yeah, there are quite a few interesting differences like that. If I'm going to be honest, I thought I'd have more to say, but yeah, I haven't really scripted this part much. I'm just kind of freestyling, so yeah, I'll probably have more soon, because what I'm going to do is once I've watched the main series of Rumbling Hearts, but I haven't watched the OVA, and I also haven't watched whatever the Akane Maniacs thing is. So I'm gonna watch those, and then I'm gonna make like a full, properly planned video on it, which I'm quite excited for. And yeah, at the moment I'm also reading Akane's Route, and yeah, if you guys have read Akane's Route, I've completed the Haruka pregnancy ending. Pretty good ending, can I mention? And yeah, now we're basically watching everything fall apart. We're like watching the relationship with Takayuki falling apart. We are watching Akane basically break so much that she's gonna be affected for life. Like I'm being serious. I've never seen Akane do so horribly in this game before. So it's horrible. It really is. And we see Takane, what? Takayuki skipping countless days off work, which ironically also happened with the anime. But yeah. Do you know? There's one thing I'm kind of scared of, because a lot of the events in the plots. I mean, obviously each route has their distinct events, but a lot of the scenes are quite small. Like for example, the work scenes, or I don't know, just with the Haruka scenes, for example, there's a lot of them, so sometimes it's kind of hard to remember the importance of some of them. I'm just really scared that everything I've learned in all of the routes by the end of this experience is just going to kind of merge into one, and the only things I'll really be able to remember are the properly unique parts of each route. I hope that doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does, to be honest. But oh well, it's all an experience. I'm gonna be excited to read chapter 3 of Mitsuki's chapter, by the way. I'm thinking of doing chapter 2 and then chapter 3. But yeah, that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one where we talk about Akane's route.